Hello, I'm Sharon, and I'm going to read a book today to you called The 1 O'Clock Miracle, a true story about trusting the words of Jesus. And this book is written by Alison Mitchell and illustrated by Catalina Echeverry. So let's begin. Long, long ago, there lived an important man who worked for the king. He was sad and so worried. His son was very ill. So ill, he was going to die, and no one could help him. He heard that a man named Jesus was doing the most amazing, wonderful things. He heard that Jesus was making ill people well again. He heard that Jesus was doing things only God can do. So the man decided to ask Jesus for help. The man and his son lived in Capernaum by the sea, but Jesus was staying in Cana, more than 20 miles away, a long way away. It was a very long walk and uphill all the way. But the man had decided that he must see Jesus. So he said goodbye to his son and his family, and he set off to see Jesus. Up the hill he walked, and sometimes ran, because he wanted so badly to see Jesus. The sun went down, the night was dark, and the stars were bright, but the man didn't stop. Huffing and puffing, he walked and sometimes ran, hurrying to see Jesus. He must have been so tired. The sun came up, the morning arrived, but there was still a long, long way to go. Puffing and panting, the man walked and sometimes ran, because he needed to see Jesus. At last, at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, the man reached Cana, the town where Jesus was. He had walked and sometimes ran, and now at last he could see Jesus. "Please, sir," he said, "my son is dying. Please come with me. Please make him better." The man knew that if Jesus came with him and touched his son, the boy would be well again. But Jesus just said, "Go." What? Go home without Jesus? After all that walking and even running to get Jesus to come? But Jesus hadn't finished. "Go," Jesus said, and then he added, "Your son will live." Your son will live. The man believed him. Jesus wasn't going to come to the man's home. He wasn't going to touch the boy to make him well, but the man still trusted that what Jesus said was true. Down the hill, he walked and sometimes ran, because he believed Jesus. The sun went down, the night was dark, and the moon shone brightly. The man felt so tired, but on and on he walked and sometimes ran, because he trusted Jesus. The sun came up, a new morning arrived, and still he walked, though his back ached and his legs were very, very tired. On he walked and sometimes ran, because he was sure Jesus would make his son well. And he just kept thinking, what Jesus had said, your son will live. Then far away in the distance, he saw some men. They came closer and closer. They were his own servants. They must have news, he thought, but what would it be? Sir, they said, it's your son. He's alive! He is well again! The man was bursting for joy. When? The man asked. When did he get better? Yesterday at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. 1 o'clock? 1 o'clock, the men replied. Then the man remembered. It was 1 o'clock when he saw Jesus. It was 1 o'clock when Jesus said his son would live. And it was 1 o'clock when his son got better. Amen. How wonderful. Jesus didn't need to go and see the boy. He didn't need to walk, and he didn't have to run. Jesus simply spoke. And just like that, the boy was better. Wow. Only Jesus could do that. And do you know why? Because Jesus is God's Son. Happy and smiling, the man walked home, and sometimes he ran to see his son again. Then he told his son and his family about Jesus and how Jesus could do things only God can do. And they all believed in Jesus, God's Son too. And now that the man's son was well, what could he do? He could smile, he could laugh, he could walk, and he could run. And all because of Jesus. What a wonderful story.